So in this portion of the video, I'm going to go over how the Spanish Civil War minigame itself works. To win the Civil War, you must control all mainland Spanish territories. All 7 of these. Not the 2 colonies, and not Balearic Islands. The fight's over this. Each faction of the Civil War operates similarly to China in global, whether out of box or BBR. This is because China was in the middle of a civil war when it was interrupted by Japan. So to represent that Civil War stance, each side retains their income and can purchase our infantry and cavalry to place anywhere, even in territories they captured that turn, and retains their income even when the capital Madrid is controlled by the other side. Because of that, we don't have a star on Madrid for the Spanish Civil War because it doesn't have the same significance as it does in the main game. Let's see. Originally, we didn't want to include cavalry units, but after playing with them in BBR, it felt appropriate to be able to build them, and it also gives either side a possible little extra punch if they don't have Madrid, without significantly increasing their defense. However, whoever controls the industrial complex in Madrid and a neighboring coastal territory that isn't blockaded may purchase artillery and tanks, similar to the Burma Road. All tanks in the Spanish Civil War, whether purchased or received from intervention, are considered light tanks, cost 5 IPCs, attack at a 3, while they defend at a 2, just like the 2 tanks that China are allowed to build in BBR. Keep in mind, a lot of the tanks that were, the Panzer Is and so on that were sent to the Spanish Civil War, they just had machine guns. They didn't have cannons. And most tanks at the time a lot of them didn't have cannons necessarily. They either had machine guns, or there were some flame tanks, or a few tanks, like I think some Soviet tanks that had cannons. But that's a rant for another day. Anyway, the mobilized new units phase is basically split up into 3 parts: mobilization, intervention, and recruitment. First, you mobilize your purchase units in any territory you now control. Artillery and tanks must be placed at Madrid, provided you have Madrid in a coastal territory that is not blockaded at the start of your turn, representing the supplies coming in to build such units. The Republicans only can also build these units if they control Aragon, this territory right here, representing supplies coming in through France. A coastal territory is blockaded if there is an enemy warship adjacent to it in the neighboring sea zone. So, let's say if these ships aren't here anymore, and these are here, but this is still Republican controlled, this is now a blockaded sea zone. So aid cannot come in through here. Make sense? You can get these at HVG. They're not necessarily required, but if you like a fun little visual, all you need is a set of 5. Anyway, okay. Let's see. Starting the second round, foreign intervention can occur after the world has had a chance to react to Spain having a civil war, provided there is not a blockaded coastal territory that you controlled at the start of your turn. The idea there is that there needs to be an established port to receive these units, kind of like needing to control a territory first in order to land a plane there in non-combat. The nationalists get 2 dice to roll for intervention, 1 from Germany and 1 from Italy, while the Republicans get 1 from the Soviet Union. So that's kind of why I like to have these dice, which HBG sells, and you can buy just 1 at a time. That's all you need. But this way, you can just, for fun, you can roll Germany and Italy together, and Soviets separately. But anyway. Let's see. So the Nationalists get 2 dice to roll for intervention, 1 from Germany, 1 from Italy. The Republicans get 1 dice to roll as an intervention from the Soviet Union. These are similar to the Soviet Lend-Lease rolls in BBR. The Republicans can also receive these units in Aragon if they control it at the start of their turn, symbolizing more aid coming in through France. Any units received are considered their side's respective units, and they do not have a separate turn order. It's simply for visual flair. So here is what each side can receive through the intervention. Here, let's see. Okay, let's see if we go. So Germany rolls a 1. It's 1 infantry. 2 is 2 infantry. 3 is a light tank. 4 is a fighter or a tactical bomber. And 5 and 6 is nothing. There's not a guarantee that you will receive intervention. Maybe it's intercepted. Maybe, who knows, maybe the power just simply doesn't want to, So Italy is 1 infantry, 2 infantry, or a light tank 1 time only. And then the Soviet Union results is 1 infantry, 2 infantry, a light tank. 4 is a fighter, 1 time only, or a light tank. 5 or 6, nothing. As you can guess, the nationalists have the advantage in this game. But as we all know, it's all in the luck of the roll of the dice. So with what I rolled here, the 2 nationalists could get sent to, say, here if it was not blockaded and they still controlled it. And a fighter or a tactical bomber could get sent here if it was controlled and not blockaded by from Germany. And Italy rolled a 2, so it's another two Italians that could go in there or over here or wherever. You can disperse them however you want. So then comes the recruitment phase. For each mainland territory that you control, you roll 1 die for each IPC value. The 2 mainland territories without an IPC value each have the value of half a recruitment roll, meaning you need to control both in order to get 1 recruitment roll. And for each roll of a 1 or 2, you can place an additional infantry, but you can only place no more than 1 infantry unit per territory. So it's possible you can't place all the units that have been that you've been fortunate enough to roll for while you control Madrid, for instance, since Madrid is worth 2 IPCs. Each extra units rolled for don't carry over to the next round or anything. It's just you get what you get. This represents those of the country rising up to support your cause, and it happens at the end because you cannot bank on the public support of your side. At least that's the idea, and it works quite well and makes for some interesting games. So, sorry, knocked something. So, just kind of as an idea here, let's say this happens. Let's say this happens. So it's not blockaded anymore. Let's see. Oh, then to offset, also one more thing, to offset the Republicans' ability to receive aid through Aragon, because they have that special aid, or ability to receive aid, the edge of the nationalists is that they also get an additional recruitment roll from Portugal due to the neighbors' support of their cause. The Republicans may combat this if given the opportunity by declaring war on Portugal and controlling it, which would eliminate that additional recruitment roll for the nationalists. Once attacked, any Portuguese units become nationalists. Portugal doesn't count towards the victory conditions. And if you attack it, whatever remaining units become nationalists. So if you attack Portugal and that destroyer is still there, that destroyer can become a nationalist destroyer. So now it's even easier for them to blockade you and prevent you from receiving aid. Chances are you're going to lose at least 1 or 2 of these, but by that point. But then they get an extra one because of that, to kind of offset it a little bit. At least that's the idea. So anyway, for a recruitment roll idea, let's see. So say it's a nationalist recruitment roll. Some fighting has happened. They get 1 for this, 1 for Portugal, 1 for Asturias, 1 for Valencia, 1 for Galicia. They only have Asturias. They don't have Aragon, so they do not get another 1 for there. So they get 4 recruitment rolls. I'm just going to roll. Let's see what happens. Nothing. Let me do that again for a better example. Okay, 2. So that would be 2 more guys that they can place down. Let's see, 1 per territory. So there and there, So that's a basic idea. That is the basic idea of how this game works. Maybe I'll do a playthrough of just this sometime, but I just wanted to make a video of just the overall rules as to how it works. As you can, like I said, the nationalists have the advantage, but it's all about the luck of the roll of the dice. And I've had a game where I've had Madrid surrounded, and then when I attacked it, the dice completely botched everything, and then the Republicans were on the way back. So this little game, even though it doesn't take terribly long, like especially if you know the rules, it lasts maybe like a half hour or so, give or take ish. But you can do this multiple times in one night. You can play like a best out of 5 or a best out of 3 or whatever with a friend. If you want to introduce somebody into Axis and Allies and you don't want to overwhelm them with a big, huge map, You can play this to kind of teach them some basics. Granted, there's a little bit of a difference, but you can play this to kind of give them an idea, and also hopefully, get them motivated to, oh, we played this, oh, I won, oh, yeah, sure, I want to see how this pans out with the main game. That's the basic idea. So like I said, kind of just backing up to what I have here. Each side can buy infantry and cavalry at all times. They can buy artillery and tanks if they control Madrid and a coastal territory that's not blockaded. Each side retains their income. Intervention can occur depending on who's supporting your cause. And I just put a few out for example. It's not like a one-time thing. A few of them are, like the Italian tank and the Soviet fighter are one-time only deals. But you kind of get the idea. It's a lot of fun. Very happy with how this has turned out, how this has been streamlined over the years of playing this. You might think, oh, Madrid's a little weak, right? Well, you can go for Madrid. You can go straight for Madrid, and if you capture it, great. But then you might not have enough units to fight the Republicans that go around, encircle you. And because on the second round, if they encircle you, you won't be able to receive any intervention that round. And they will, because you won't be able to take all of them back. So the war itself was more of a war of going around the coasts. Franco went through Aragon. Catalonia was a huge hub for the Republicans. So he split the Republicans right there. And it was more of a coastal territory, and Madrid really wasn't captured until the very end of the war. So it was like that, and then finally they finally got Catalonia, and then they encircled Madrid basically. So you can go straight from Madrid, but it might not work out for you. I don't know, just some thoughts. Anyway, yeah. All seven mainland territories are, once all 7 mainland territories are captured, the game immediately ends with a clear victor.